Good evening, everyone. Today we're going to learn about history of educational technology, the communication, its categories, and tools used. Now, before we start, please grab your pen and paper because this will be a long discussion. What comes to your mind when you hear or read the word communication? Communication is simply the act of transferring information from one place, person, or group to another, whether information, ideas, or emotions. It involves at least one sender, a message, and a receiver. Communication is a basic element in effective teaching. Communication falls into different categories. The first one is the spoken or verbal communication. It includes face-to-face, telephone, radio, television, and other media, using or speaking words to share information to other people. The second one is the non-verbal communication. It uses body languages, facial expressions, and hand gestures. Next, the third one is the written communication. From the word itself, people communicate messages through writing or typing messages like emails, in a letter, social media, books, magazines, internet, and other media. The last is the visualization. Communication used by graphs, charts, maps, or logos. The history of educational technology. Oral communication. It is the use of human voice. It is also the earliest medium of teaching. Even in the ancient times, communication was used. It is not only about technology that transmits data. Now, think of this, guys. Think about Romeo and Juliet. If only they had iMessage, then maybe they wouldn't find themselves in such a pickle, right? We've come a long way from a horseback riding to deliver memos and letters to the use of messengers. There's been a lot of advancement on how we stay connected. It's strange to think that there was once a time without even telephones, when the only way to talk back to family or old friends was with a pen and a paper. Here's a look back at what it looked like, an evolution of how we communicate. But before we move on to our next topic, do you still have your pen and paper? I hope so, because this will be a long journey from the past up to now. Tighten up your seatbelt, folks. Next topic are the tools used in communication. On 255 BC, snail mail was invented. It was the earliest surviving piece of mail from 255 BC. Postal services have been around since humans learned how to write. Through the ages, transportation of snail mail has included dog sleds, donkeys, balloons, and submarines. In 2006, Canada Post delivered about 5 billion pieces of mail, though annual volume has since dropped to below 4 billion. Nowadays, mail is usually a junk, but it makes receiving the rare handwritten letter all the more special. Next is the smoke signals. It is used by indigenous tribes in the 1500s. Smoke signals are actually one of the oldest forms of long-distance communication. Native tribes had their own signaling systems, and soldiers in ancient China would send smoke off the Great Wall during war. Even today, nothing quite says help like sending up some smolder. The third one is the pigeon post, used by the Romans more than 2,000 years ago. These squawking birds weren't always just an accessory to cobblestone streets and street meat stands. Thousands of years ago, pigeons were used as a means of communication. Pigeons would carry messages on tiny pieces of rolled up paper in a metal canister attached to their feet. They would be sent to their desired destination, sometimes by train, where they would then be given a chance to fly back with. Here is the fun fact. Pigeons actually have an internal compass that allows them to find their way home from thousands of kilometers away. Next, on the 5th century BC, written documents are existed. It is the use of feather pen dipped in ink. Even our national hero Dr. Jose Rizal used this type of writing, right, when he wrote his novel. Next, on 12th century AD, slate boards were used in India. It is a thin piece of hard flat material, such as the rock also called slate, that is used as a medium for writing. The writing slate was used by children in one-room schoolhouses to practice writing and arithmetic during classes or at home, and in multi-room schools until the 20th century. Next, on the 18th century, schools started using slate boards and blackboards. On the end of World War II, U.S. armies used overhead projectors for training and used for lecture presentations. It is an overhead projector. It is a machine that has a light inside it and makes the writing or pictures on a sheet of plastic appear on a screen or a wall. On the late 1950s and in the early 1960s, projectors were replaced by electronic projectors. It is an optical device that projects an image or moving images onto a surface, commonly a projection screen. Early in the 1870s, telephone came. It is a system used to send speech or data over distances. Next is the history of photography. A camera obscura or dark room for photography are some substances that are visible altered when exposed to light. On the 1839 birth of practical photography, it is the first successful photographic process. On 1820, it is the development of photographic process and was attributed to Nicéphore Niépce and pursued by Louis Daguerre, his associate. On the 1940s to 1980s, a common form of still picture instructional multimedia was invented. It was used by teachers in primary and secondary schools. It is the educational films of program instructions in slides. On the 1990s, computer-based electronic digital cameras was invented. It is a revolutionized photography. On the first decade of 21st century, the use of traditional film-based photochemical methods gradually became less popular due to image quality and low price of digital cameras. A man who named Cross is remembered as the earliest inventor of sound recording and reproduction device, but history tells us that in 1877, Thomas Edison invented the first mechanical phonograph cylinder sound recording machine. These hollow cylindrical objects have an audio recording engraved on the outside surface, which can be reproduced when they are played on a mechanical cylinder phonograph. The invention of sound and audio recordings was taken as a positive development in education as schools started to use them as a tool to deliver instructions. This audio recording came in various formats, from the rounded playing record, open reel tapes, and cassette tapes to compact discs or CDs. On the 1920s, the British Broadcasting Corporation, or BBC, began broadcasting educational radio programs for schools. They made the first adult education radio broadcast in 1924. The use of television for education was first recorded in 1970 and quickly spread around the world. On 1976, The first Betamax videocassette recorder, or VCR, was introduced in the United States of America. Betamax, also called Beta as in its logo, is a consumer-level analog recording and cassette format of magnetic tape for video. Betamax is obsolete, having lost the videotape format war to VHS. Despite this, Betamax recorders would not be discontinued until 2002. Japan Victor Corporations, or JVC, first introduced the VHS Video Home System that doubles the recording time of the beta format. So, just like the audio recordings, the video technology came out in the various formats, from Betamax, VHS, to DVDs. On 1976, fiber optic cable was first used to distribute cable TV programming. It transmits data via fast-traveling pulses of light. Another layer of glass, called cladding, is wrapped around the central fiber and causes light to repeatedly bounce off the walls of the cable rather than leak out at the edges, enabling the signal to go farther without attenuation. This new technology increases potential channel capacity and improves picture reception. Educational television channels such as National Geographic and the History Channel became the source of educational knowledge and information, particularly to the viewing public. The emergence and development of computer technology had its beginning in the 19th century. The English mathematics professor Charles Babbage designed the analytic engine which served as the basic framework of computers today. Initially, computers were classified into three generations. Each generation is marked by significant improvement in features and functionalities according to states on 2006. However, according to Jawad Khan on 2013, there are actually 5 generations of the computer technology. These 5 generations reflect the evolutionary development not only in the features and functionalities but also in the size and their operating system. Kaalaman. Century BC stands for before Christ, before the birth of Jesus Christ. Century AD stands for Anno Domini, the year of the Lord, the year when Jesus Christ was born. Now, this ends our discussion. I hope you learned about our report. Taking notes is the key. I am Rose Ann Bernales with my associate reporter, Trixie Faith Cantuba, now signing off. It transmits